Geeks in Malaysia.
I'm Malaysian.
Hi, Dorian.
And I'm Carl and Ba, and for once we are sitting in the row that we introduce ourselves, as we have two guests today.
Two.
Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes.
Hi, Justin Wong. Hello.
I'm Jeremy Uy
From.
From?
from Kaigan Games.
Yeah, yes.
Yes. Very important.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes,
today, if you're listening to this, of course, on the podcast, you cannot see them. But if you'd like to see them, you can head to youtube.com/Geeks in Malaysia. Or, as YouTube has kindly put out, we now have handles apparently. So, at Geeks in Malaysia.
Okay, calm
I
down.
don't know
Calm
why
down.
they sent me like 5 notifications for that, and I'm
I know.
like,
How many channels
but I
do you
already
have?
no one, just for my one channel.
But they sent multiple emails.
I already have a handle, and then when I click on the thing, it's like my handle's still the same. So I was like, so what's the big deal?
No, because whatever your username is, that will be your handle. Right? As if it's
No.
not already youtube.com/Geeks in Malaysia.
No,
Huh?
no, because
Not
my
every-
username is Kyril Baha.
Oh, yeah.
But I had already set, because they already had something where you can use another name. So I'm like, so what's this new function? Because my other name, so if you look up Kaimano, my channel pops up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's the difference? I don't know. I don't know, YouTube. You tell me. Yeah, googly
You
fuck.
tell.
But we're not here to talk about YouTube today.
No.
Amongst popular belief, we are here to talk about the latest game in Kaigan, which is Simulacra 3, which is coming out when?
Next Tuesday.
Which is
okay,
October.
As of this recording, so it'll be 25th of October. Yeah.
Okay, so by the time this episode's out, the game
Yeah.
is already out, so make
Yeah,
sure you
yeah.
go and check it out now.
Yep.
Yes.
But yes, we're here to
Yes.
talk about that. It's the follow-up to, of course, Simulacra 1 and 2.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process from Simulacra 1 to how does the story continue? Or
Right.
is
Oh,
it a
no,
separate
no.
story?
At first,
Okay, what-
let's start at the beginning.
Okay, yes.
Tell
and
us
talk
what
about-
kind of game is it? So
Okay, so Kaigan Games, we make a bunch of games, but we mostly focus on this what we call found phone games. So where the phone that you play the game on is the interface of the story. So you found someone's phone, and that phone now is the phone you're holding. So you're actually going through the phone of a character, and you're looking through it, and you're reading their messages, you're watching the videos, you're viewing the pictures and things like that. And we made a horror game out of that concept, and we started out with at first Sarah is Missing. That was like a long time ago. We then make a Simulacra. That was our like a first debut title officially under Kaigan Games, and then we made Simulacra 1 turns out to be pretty good. Everyone kind of liked it, so we thought, hey, if people like it, let's make it again. And people like the second one, and let's make it again, and so on and so forth. And so here we are, Simulacra 3.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Simulacra also had a spin-off as well, right? Like
Yes,
a
yes.
separate game as
There
well.
is a spin-off called Simulacra Pipe Dreams, which is like a free-to-play version of our game. So if you don't want to play Simulacra for whatever reason, you can try out Simulacra Pipe Dreams, which is a free-to-play version of our game. Much shorter experience though. Yeah.
I mean, the game mechanics for Pipe Dreams is similar to the game mechanics for Simulacra,
Yes,
like the whole
yes.
Simulacra
Yes,
series.
it's similar. Everything is pretty much the same. It's just that the narrative structure might be slightly different to cater for the free-to-play nature of it. Yeah.
and
So
shorter
all
lah.
of these,
Yeah.
like, do you keep finding the same person's phone?
No, so we treat Simulacra like
Because that woman needs
yeah.
Apple Care or
You
something.
need a Find Me, the Apple Find Me
my
type, yeah,
iPhone.
Find My iPhone type.
No, but then never mind. I now I takut like say too much spoiler, you know?
No,
Because I
it's okay,
normally
it's
so in
okay.
mind. So like
No worries, because this is something I realized after Simulacra 1 because it's hard to continue the story because once you found the person,
Yeah.
there's no mystery anymore. So
Yeah.
we treat Simulacra like a sort of anthology kind of thing, like American Horror Story or whatever. Not it's
Okay.
it's a similar. Like the themes are similar, the nature of the mechanics is similar, the nature of the story is similar. It's just that it's a completely brand new plot and new setting and things like that. Yeah.
So I mean, I guess like if anyone out there is like wondering like is this kind of game for me? Before you shell out your money, you could always just like try out Pipe Dreams,
Yep.
and then see if you like the format, like because I can see how the format may not be for everybody.
No, it's quite a niche market. Yeah.
Yeah, like because it's a lot of like rooting through someone's phone and
Yeah.
like very specific cues, especially this time around because I
Yeah.
had the chance to play with it introduce a new is the Atlas system like a new mechanic?
So the Atlas system is like like a revised version of a mechanic we introduced in Simulacra 2. So in Simulacra 1, it was really basic. Like you find someone's phone, you play through the game's mechanic, and you just go through the game, you read messages, and you find things, and so on and so forth. In Simulacra 2, we introduced this system where you sort of like can find clues and sort of sort them out.
To
And
unlock-
we
unlock
yeah,
locations,
to
unlock
unlock
more
locations
clues
and
and
things like
stuff.
that. Because in Simulacra 1, we had to somehow make that work in the narrative. Like in the story, the phone is locked, but you unlock the phone by finding out like where the like you have to go through the character. The main character is Anna in Simulacra 1, so you have to go through Anna's work computer. You update the phone through her computer or at the workplace, and then the phone gets updated. But we find that storytelling structure kind of like one and done. Like that's if you do that again and again and again, it's like it gets tedious. So we introduce a more gameplay element. So you're finding clues and you're unlocking them. It feels a bit more, how to say, it feels more flexible. We can explore different kinds of stories using that mechanic. So we thought of doing a different spin on it by using the Atlas mechanic in Simulacra 3. Yeah.
So the last time we had you here, we were talking about the Doctor Who game.
Yes.
Which was fun. Which
Yeah.
was also basically a found phone game.
Yes.
Which leads me to a couple of questions
Yeah.
regarding like found phone games.
Yeah.
First off, like, is this the niche that you guys want to stick with?
We've been doing this game for 6 years. So
This type of game.
This type of game, yes.
Yeah.
So I would like to try some different things. Actually, we are actually working on different things as we speak.
Okay.
Exploring different genres and things like that. If the demands that we'll continue make phones like this, we'll continue make these kind of games. But I think we would like to explore different kinds of games as well. We found a niche. We thought it was really fun. We had a fun with it. But we want to try new things in the future. Yeah.
Because
If you would like to watch the episode where we interview Jeremy about this
for
game,
fuck's
episode
sake,
124.
Nick, you have been working at Goggle for too long, you marketing.
Tak. Ini bukan Googler. Ini dia.
Oh,
Ini
No.
goblok. Ini
It's
Capricorn.
gone up a notch. It's gone up a notch.
Dia-
I
dia-
blame you two fucks.
Tak, dia
Episode
tak,
124.
bukan.
No.
Ini angan dia nak jadi KOL. Nak jadi
Fuck's sake.
influencer.
Get your tits out, Nick. Anyway, my next question. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to.
I was just gonna put it. I would have just put it in the cards and just don't have to tell them in the episode. But anyway,
People who are listening on Spotify, episode 124.
As if our audience doesn't know this shit already.
Some might not.
Tits,
Okay.
shit, wankers at Geeks in Malaysia on all social medias,
You want to
coffee,
point
and all
your
that
button
other
on top?
bullshit.
Yeah.
Can I get to my fucking question now?
Go ahead.
Jesus. Anything else you want to pimp out? Your new line of cologne?
No,
You got some face cream to do?
when we talk about Justin, I'll mention his episode too, so we'll get there eventually.
The fuck was I gonna ask? Anyway, yes. No, because I was wondering about the whole this because you have like 3 simulacras already, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the Doctor Who game from playing it,
Yeah.
which was fun, but
Yeah.
all these games do have a story
Yes.
that needs to finish.
Yeah.
And once the story is finished,
Yep.
like you said, you found
Yeah.
you figured out the problem
Yeah.
with the phone and whatever.
you
case
found
closed.
Sarah.
Yeah.
So I've actually wondered this, and you guys been working for 6 years on it. Like, is there any way to create a game like that that has more longevity? Like, is there any fucking open world found phone game?
Well, we never thought of that. I think this is more like more business decision than a creative one, because I think like yes, we can explore that, but again, it's a commitment, right? If you want to commit to like a long form, open world, like multi-episode,
And then you make the money from the in-app purchase and the subscription.
yeah, the
Season
subscriptions,
1,
right?
season 2, season 3.
Yeah, just watch out for those paywalls.
Oh my god! Or you can't figure out this clue?
Yeah.
Pay for it.
Yes.
Adding on to that, like not so much an open world, like open world is a concept, but maybe one
Yeah.
step before that. What about like multiple endings? Like say if I play it once,
Yeah.
and I play it again, I
Yeah.
might, if I choose different choices, I might get a different ending.
And the only reason why I'm wondering that is because, like,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Doctor Who game.
Yes.
But then when it was done, I was like, I have no reason to keep this on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I want to see the other answers.
Yeah, so good news is that all of our similar games have multiple endings, so you can the only exception Doctor Who has like a like a side quest you can do, but you only has one ending because that's the nature of the project. So
Yeah.
we just work on it. But normally, what we do is we always explore multiple endings. Yeah, for replayability and stuff. And also, it's fun to kind of see where your decisions go. So that's one of the biggest appeal for narrative games. So I mean, we have to have that.
Yeah.
It's like saying FPS, no guns. It's kind of weird, right? The narrative games, you have to have multiple endings. So.
And now, as much as we love talking to you, Jeremy, I'm sure people are wondering who the hell is Justin
And
here?
actually, those of us watching the screen, maybe you can see the.
Who was in the
so-
previous episode? Do you want to tell them what episode we're on?
When we talked,
Huh? What episode was Justin on?
when we talked about, Justin Returns. Now, if you want to listen to Justin's
and
episode,
that video.
Yes.
To find out what that video is.
check out episode 117 on our YouTube channel. Yes.
Yeah,
So yes, Justin.
Wait.
Yes.
Yeah, and those of you who are actually watching on YouTube, you may have seen me and Justin give each other a high five and like very knowing nods at each other. So me and Justin, so Justin is involved in this project as well as a director for a lot of the video all the video bits, and you did the editing as well as stuff for all the videos that you see in Simulacra 3, and I was his AD on that production. So like when Jeremy was talking about multiple endings, we were like, yep,
Oh yeah.
And those scenes were shot here.
yes, in the submarine,
So essentially, all
Yes.
three of us actually had a small part to play within this game as well.
yes.
Speaking of you two, I also had a part to play in this game. My name is Jeff. I'm Jeff in this game. So if
He's
you,
in the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main character's co-workers who sees these symbols and then...
Dude, I did the least. You guys were actually actively working on the game. I opened the door.
And you pre-lit the green screen. You were lighting.
I switched on a light.
That's still work.
No, you did the audio engineering for the time when Jit came over here and recorded some lines. Remember?
Wait, did we?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there were some lines.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, also, speaking of Jit, like, we've got some predominant actors within this. We've got Jit Young, who plays the main character, and we've also got Amanda Ang.
Asian television award-winning actress.
Yeah, if you'd like to see... Amanda was also on the show at one point, so if you would like to hear her episode, you can head towards
Watch YouTube and see my reaction.
episode 157, the Murder by Moonlight episode, that had Amanda Ang, who's also in this game.
Oh boy.
I'm melting. I'm the Wicked Witch of the...
Remember when you used to just talk on this podcast? Fuck.
We're growing.
My ass.
Okay, anyway.
Anyway, yes.
Yes.
So yes,
Here we
Justin,
go.
You
Yes, Justin.
basically you directed most of the, if not all, the video parts of it. What was that process like? Because I know you shot in a short frame time, right? Like you shot in like a week or less than a week.
3 days.
Couple days.
3 days.
Yeah, literal days.
How did
2.5 days.
2.5 days, yes.
2.5 days.
how did that go about? Did you still have storyboards and stuff like that, or did you just have a script and worked on, or like what was that process like?
So because it's a video game, the process is a little different. We had an Excel sheet.
An Excel sheet.
We had
Yeah.
an Excel sheet.
How's that work?
Yeah.
I'm curious about the workflow.
Yes.
Yeah, because the videos are very much predicated on how the gameplay goes.
Yes.
So therefore a lot of it has to come from the game designer first. So you had to give me an Excel sheet. Remember?
Yeah,
that
before
one?
that it was a flowchart.
Yeah.
Before-
Ah,
Yes,
yes.
before
You
that-
game developers love them flowcharts.
Before that, it was the flow chart, and then
Because I had to check the flowchart to make sure the Excel sheet is correct.
Yes.
And the script needs to follow the Excel sheet, so it's a lot of
Yes.
codependencies which freak me out
A
many
lot
times.
of if this then that.
a lot of
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Even for me, when I was like, okay, wait, but then like, there is this line of dialogue, but it's not in Excel sheet. Jeremy,
Yeah.
it was really great having you on set, like so you could like problem solve. Like it was like, Jeremy, this line is here, but then this is not here. What is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but yes, go on, and then
Yeah.
like Excel sheet.
So it was an Excel sheet. So it's a list of shots, and each shot is like variations, iterations of what the player can do. It's pretty much controlling the decisions, and then you see the outcome of it. So it's a lot of iterations. I think there's like almost 100 shots. More than
Yeah, 120 plus.
100
Yeah.
shots. Yeah. So we did kind of do storyboards for like a key frame for every key thing because it's like we're making CCTVs
Yeah.
inside a location. So yeah, it's slightly different workflow.
Okay.
And you guys were shooting here with green screen, so if it doesn't spoil the game, may I ask, what's that going to be replaced with?
Okay, so people who played Simulacra games kind of expect how the ending is gonna be like, but this time we want to do a different spin on it because usually our endings take place in like a text screen. So the text screen, you confront the villain of the story and it all happens in the text. But we want to do something very different with this one, and hence we need the green screen for that. So that would be a replacement for
But
what
you
we
can't
normally
tell us
do.
what
But
it is.
I
Let's
want
not spoil it
to.
for people just
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, coming back to this.
You're blocked by the mic stand again.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Coming back to this Excel spreadsheet, like from a film world, of course, we've got storyboards, we've got our shot listing and whatnot. What's in this Excel spreadsheet?
Okay.
Like, is it a description of the shots or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
What needs to happen?
an ID of the shot so we can like cross-reference to other documents, and then we have who's in it, what happens, what are the props needed, and things like that. Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I say that because it is CCTV footage, like it's detailed up until the point of like where the character is exiting and entering from.
Yeah.
Because it needs to like because you're basically telling the story through CCTV. So like macam, and all dependent on I was gonna say audience suggestion, player suggestion, of and stuff. So then like it'd be very detailed about the character is going to move from this location to that location. So then the shot needs to be from this direction to that direction. And then we have to go, okay, now we have to do the reverse, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. And then a lot of decisions that happened that were made by the player has like cause and effect, right? Like consequences and shit like that, and,
okay.
like, decisions and whether or not you picked up shit or not picked up shit, or like you do this.
I
and do
tried
that.
really hard to make that as simple as possible, and that was the simplest I could get it to. So even that was super scary for me.
No, but I mean, for a game like yours, like
Yeah.
it had to be that detailed.
Yeah.
It had to. There was no other way.
So here's the funny thing. In game,
if you tell me we didn't use 90% of the footage, I was like,
No, we use all of it. Here's the funny thing. In games, normally we have we do 2D, 3D, right? That's usually the game medium, right? You can have if you have a 3D character model or if you have a 2D character drawn up and everything, you can place them wherever you want without much. After shot, after you've done doing it storyboard stage, maybe early stages to the end stages, you want to just move the character there, you can just take a mouse and drag. That's fine. But in film, once you film it, that's it. You're committed to that 100% forever to the end of times. So, I think what scares me the most is that commitment, because normally in games so that's why we really need to get everything right, because in games normally her hand is the wrong place, let's just move it down and so on and so forth.
And like, okay, coming back to this sort of footage and whatnot, and we talked about this outside in terms of optimization for phones.
Yeah.
Like, is it stressful or is it what do you call it?
Yeah.
Is it problematic to optimize these videos for different sort of phones, or is it just one code that just
Like, does it work
automatically-
on the Samsung Z Fold?
Yeah, that was the biggest headache for Simulacra 1.
Or the LG Wing?
But it takes 6 years. It takes 6 years to for multiple sequels and things like that. So we kind of figure out the workflow for that. So we know what video formats to use, what resolution, how the resolution is going to scale to different phones, things like that. So we pretty much got our ground covered until Steam decided to release the Steam Deck. And that threw another wrench in the basket,
Thanks,
and
Yeah,
so
because
we had to go
I was
through
gonna
that.
ask that as well, like in terms of between phones and the PC.
Yes.
Like, did that throw a spanner in your works? As well as that?
When did the iPhone 10 came out? So when the iPhone 10 came out, it was around the same time we want to launch Simulacra 1 or 2. I think it was. iPhone 10 when it came. Okay, so I can't remember the dates, but basically. iPhone 10 came out with a 2:1 aspect ratio, and that was different from the usual ratio, so we had to scale to that. So then we thought like, okay, you know what? Everyone's using like tall phones. We kind of know that. We scale everything to tall phones, and then the Steam Deck came out. It's like, oh, what the hell is this thing? Yeah, it uses a different video format as well, so we gotta encode the videos in the different format again. So it's like. Yeah, I know technology is moving fast. We need more devices. So yeah, every time there's a new device, we're
Because I've
like,
always been curious
that's new.
how you guys develop for Android, because there's no standardized shape.
So we found a magic number for the scaling.
Alright.
So anything that scales beyond that magic number, it will just lock it. Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
say if you have the fold, it's not going to be like we're going to stretch everything.
So the phone
Really
will
wide.
scale usually. If I'm not mistaken, the phone will scale to like a tablet. So the tablet would be a tablet size, and
tablet
anything
version.
So anything bigger, they'll have like a border to sort of lock it.
Okay.
in
So
place,
like in the PC version, you've got the phone in the middle, and then you've
Yeah.
got sort of this background of the office.
yeah.
If it's a tablet, is that the same sort of format, or is just like you said, it's just locked with a black screen?
It would be scaled slightly to tablet, but any variations of that, we would have that background
That
as well.
background?
Yes, yeah.
Because I feel that background works very well because that
Yeah.
helps you with whatever extra bits you need to
Yep.
add on to the side.
Yep.
And also, is it on consoles as well, or is it just PC?
It will be on consoles. It won't be consoles on launch, but consoles would be out soon.
Now, how
Switch,
does-
PS4, PS5, Xbox One.
So now that you've optimized it for the Steam Deck, does
Yeah.
that also include the other consoles as well? Do you have to do a whole different code for that as well?
Steam Deck is slightly different. The Steam controller is different than the ones that were used. This Steam controller has like a touchpad, so you have to optimize for that. They also have to use a different video format as well, so we have to kind of figure out what that is.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
That seems like a headache.
yeah. So every time we thought, okay, we figured this out, and then a new device comes out. And it's like, oh, okay. All right, here we go again.
So okay,
Yeah.
actually, there's one thing we haven't actually properly discussed.
Yeah.
What is the story of Simulacra 3?
Right. Okay. So in Simulacra 3, so the generic Simulacra story is that somebody's gone missing. You found someone's phone. There is a monster on the loose, and you have to figure out what happened to this person in relation to this monster. In Simulacra 3, we want to do something different. In Simulacra 3, we thought of like, hey, why not we put like a setting to this place? Because in the previous games, the place that the characters live in is quite ambiguous. We don't really know where. We don't really know what. It's like, hey, there's a house, and there's outside. There's this place and that place, and they're kind of like floating around everywhere. This time we've sort of like, hey, what do we want to put like what can we translate like a like a small town mystery, Twin Peaks, something like that, like a small town supernatural mystery into the phone format. And we thought, okay, how do we match the the phone elements and things like that? So we thought like, hey, there's Google Maps. Hey, why not we have a map app? So the map app would set set the groundwork to sort of establish what place you're in and how do you navigate to different places. People can sort of get an idea, oh, this person went that place, so you can see on the map, oh, it's this far and this distance and so on and so forth. In Simulacra 1 and 2 as well, there's like a social media thing. So instead of Twitter, we have this thing called Jabber. Justin came out with the name, by the way, if anyone's curious. Jabber. So Jabber is really just quite random filler, but now we have like a setting, so we can sort of do a little bit of world building as well for that location. So some of the social media become a bit more meaningful. So if you read like just random people talking about random stuff, right, it's sort of help to build the world a little bit better as opposed to last time, which is just just read for fun kind of thing. Yeah.
And one thing I do appreciate, like playing the game, I saw the feed of whatnot, or the social media, like the Twitter and whatnot.
Yeah.
What I appreciate is that you can actually type stuff into there.
Oh right.
So I was typing replies like nobody's business. I was like, am I going to get a response? No. Damn it.
Any plans to make that into an
Spoiler.
actual social media?
Oh no.
Jabber?
Jabber.
Jabber. How did that name pop about, Justin?
Oh, I don't know. It has to rhyme somehow, so that's a start. But
Rhyme with?
Twitter,
Okay.
of course, yeah.
Oh yeah, what was IT crowd one? Jitter. Chitter.
Chitter? Chitter?
Yes.
Well, you do chitter.
Actually, speaking of the map, that was one thing that do you think you'll expand on that in the future? Because I feel that map, what I would have loved to have, which obviously can't be done, I'm sure there's a lot of code to go around that, is that every time you click on the actual location,
Yeah.
it pops up sort of like this Google Earth sort of thing where you can just, not so much go inside, but rotate and
Yeah.
just see the place around it. Maybe there'll be clues and whatnot. Is that something you might have thought of? Or
Well, that was the idea did glance through my brain like for a quick second, because then we have to recreate the entire town in you have to map it out, so okay, this shop is here, this shop is there. So that's a lot of work, and unfortunately we are just a small team. We're like 10 people, and the dev team itself is only like 3/4 of that, so we don't have a lot of time. So we want to give the feeling of a town, but we can't really like map everything to the T, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, we don't have every road names, we don't have every like house, you know, where everything is. But we just want to get a sense of, okay, this is a small town, this is the major locations, and this is generally how people feel. So we want to treat like the town as like a character rather than a place that you can actually live and walk in. So it's more like the town. You know, the town's, the nature of the town, you know, reflects on the characters. The characters have feelings towards the town. The town sort of creates the, you know, creates the setting of where the horror comes through and things like that. So the town element brings more of that. It's more like a supplementary like a element to what we already have before. Yeah, where previously it's more like it didn't really exist. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I would like to ask
Yeah.
some non-game relating stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
It's only because, like, now that I have both of you in the same room, we can finally ask, like, so how you two know each other? And how'd you two get into this?
Theater, right? It was it Scared Scriptless? Was it
God.
was it literally that?
Because I met you two at Lost and Found.
Ah, yes.
Yes, yes.
But you
yeah.
two knew each other before that, right?
Before that,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, quite
I think,
likely.
right? If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Quite
Just when in doubt, I point to Scared Scriptless because that's where I
When
know
in doubt.
most of my...
Scared Scriptless was essentially Electric Mind's project. They had this weekly thing where we would come in and read scripts together and all that stuff.
It's more like improv gathering kind
Yes.
of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened for a while.
Yeah.
That's also where I met Amanda for the first time, I think.
How old were you guys back
Amanda
then?
as well, yes.
So how old were you guys back then?
How old were we?
Yeah.
They were babies.
10 years.
25?
10 years ago.
10 years
Will
ago,
it be?
yeah.
Yeah, it will be
Whatever I
around
am,
10 years ago.
minus 10 years, yes.
More or less. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how did you both become involved in like
This.
you obviously with Kaigan, but how did you get on board with Jeremy? Did he
Yeah,
just contact
so-
you?
Or is this just a friend mom?
yeah.
So without Justin, there's no Simulacra, to be really honest. Lah.
Aww.
Yeah,
Wait, did
yeah.
you shoot the other ones as well?
He shot, yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
So when we made Simulacra 1, we were really tight. Like we were really like we can only do so much. So I thought like, hey, who can I talk to that kind of knows how to do you know, this film stuff, but on a shoestring budget. And I thought like, hey, maybe Justin can do it, right? It's a compliment, trust me.
I know.
I mean, credit to
I
the
know.
both of you. Credit that, you know, like it worked. Like, you know,
Yeah,
your
yeah.
shoestring budget method of making that film and making all the filmic bits for that, and
Yeah.
you know, is I'm sure one of the factors Simulacra is so successful, right? Like the whole it is no small feat.
We didn't have cameras. You didn't have cameras back then, right? I mean, you have cameras, but we shot it on phones, right? Like literal phones.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so the idea is that like, okay, in Simulacra 1, the photos and videos that you find in the phone,
Yeah.
they were shot with the phone. So what's the best way to emulate
A phone.
that?
There you
A phone.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
So I used the phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
But down the line when it port to consoles and big TVs, that became a problem. So we had to upscale everything to the best of our abilities. But yeah,
DGP.
it was he figured out. I was like, okay, thank God.
Now, also speaking of the videos, I want to get on the photos as well. Like the photos you see in the game, did you guys go out to take these photos, or are these just stock photos? Because I know it's very ambiguous of where we are. Like some parts look Western, some parts looks Asian. Can't really tell. So how did you get those photos?
It's just half, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was half, like half stock, half. But like in Simulacra 2, we had a lot of shots as well. Like because they're more it's more character driven. It's more like there are a lot of character photos and things like that. Simulacra 3, we mostly kept to stock because we spent a lot of resource to get the videos right, because the videos are like we bump up like the scope of it. In Simulacra 3, this is the first time that we ever do like an interactive video sequence, so it's more like we never done that in Simulacra 2 and Simulacra 1 itself. So we want to try something different, so we thought, hey, why not let's try something new. Let's go out with if we want to make a last Simulacra game, you know, how would it be? Let's go out with a bang. So we thought
Last?
if we don't know. Yeah. So it's mostly so this time around it's a bit more leaning more towards stock than shots, but we do have some shots as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So like so game design,
Yeah.
game design, game flow charts, and actually filmmaking
Yeah.
are actually two very different mediums.
Yes.
Like, were there moments where like their game vision did not jive with filming language during this game, or I don't know, were there? And how did you guys work out any of those whatever?
So you please give me feedback because
Because
I'm not a filmmaker, but
Yeah.
I have some knowledge of the filmmaking process. So I tried really, really hard to ensure that when I output the script and everything, it conforms to the filmmaking rules as much as possible. But maybe you can share more about that.
No, actually, it was pretty okay because that Excel sheet it worked because having scouted the location, so we took photos of the POV of every single CCTV. So and then we used that as an anchor for each of the sets of sequences. So because of that, the Excel sheet made sense. Like, okay, these 5 shots are from in this location, and then cross-referencing that to the photo, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, it's here and all this. So it works.
To add on to that, right? Funny story also. We didn't have a location when the design came up. So when the game design came up, it was like I'm imagining like, oh, what would the house look like? And everything's arbitrary. The room is kind of here, this is kind of here, but the concept is there. The idea of the game is there. When we scout the location, I look at the house. It's like this house is just weird.
wait.
Yeah,
The story goes on before that. So,
Okay.
So the story started when I was looking for a place. From like Airbnb or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. So there's this one place I spotted in Juram, like, which is an hour's drive,
Yeah,
right? So we went over there, and then it was like, oh, okay, it's just a single brick house with one door to one room, and so it's like it doesn't work. And then there was a compound where this guy built like a few places as homestays and all that. And then we saw next door, and then you saw this weird house. Remember that?
Yeah, I saw it. It's like, hey, this is the weird house. Is this part of the thing that we originally weren't going to look for it because it was not in our plan?
Yeah.
But I just check it out since we're here. And I looked at the house. It was like
Really weird.
It's really weird because like
unique.
yeah,
Very
unique. Funny features is like there's a stairs that goes straight up. There is like 1, 2, 3, 4 like 4 levels. Yeah,
It's an A-frame house.
Yeah.
And with one and then like interconnected like half.
Yeah, half.
And
yes.
a really hot attic.
Yes.
It sounds weird as hell. Yes.
Yeah, and a
Definitely
really steep,
Really steep stairs.
very steep and narrow staircase.
Yeah.
Thank God our DP is small.
Yeah.
Thank God his what is it called? His rig.
Steadicam,
The Steadicam rig was also very small. Yeah.
So the moment I saw the house, I'm like, I think it can work. So I had to go back home. I threw all my design out. Redid the design with the house that we had. And then it's like, hey, everything fits, everything, this can work. So I just told Justin, so let's get that house because it works. So I had to do like patchwork, like not patchwork. I had to redo the whole design because the house my imaginary house, following the basic conventional rules on how a house should be built, it's not gonna work for some reason. Yeah.
That brings up a good point because I also wanted to ask about this house because of course there are some cutscenes where we see some sort of interior and I was like, is this like some sort of those old kampong houses? Because it looked like there was just this level and a very small staircase going down.
Yeah.
And I saw Jade had trouble going down that stairs. That was one thing I noticed because it's a very small thing. It's not really a spoiler, but when he goes down, when he takes that first step, I saw him do this.
Like his hand reached out to touch the railing. Yes, for the benefit of those who are just only listening to us.
I mean, if you like to watch it,
Stop.
But now that you mentioned that small staircase, I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
There are multiple small staircases.
But that house really worked because I think the ambiance of it really matched with whatever was happening on the screen. Like, it really felt like this recluse sort of guy in this small little space. Like, yeah.
And also kudos to the set designer. I can't remember his name. But like, but because like, most of the furnishings there is like all like, it's like a lot of it he bought his own stuff. Like a lot of it.
brought,
Yeah.
Like he brought an old school radio.
Mid-century, like, because he himself likes mid-century stuff, so everything in there was a Norwegian-esque mid-century, and it was like, yes, bitch, yes.
Like Paul, the main guy, his interior just looks really like it fits his character. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Like it really fit, and I was like, oh, this is not bad. Sorry, you look like you had a question.
No, I just realized that my light is outside. Fuck.
Sorry.
Anyway, yes. Apart from lighters. So okay, I'm trying to see what I can say without spoiling the fucking game.
Did you finish the game already?
I'm halfway through. Yeah, I basically got I can't even say that because that's. But okay, I will admit I haven't played Simulacra 1 or 2. I'm sorry about that.
No.
But I did play the Doctor Who game, of course, and there were a few jump scares here and there. But I think you've taken it up a notch.
Yeah.
Because the first one that came out, again, I was on my headphones and I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Because it's.
No, but they ask you to put headphones
I
on for the
know.
best
I
experience.
know.
Best
Yeah.
experience.
And even then, like I was telling you outside, like
Yeah.
the background sound that you used,
Yeah.
even though it's just the phone, you hear these click clacks in the back, like you hear maybe like an office thing, and then you get this. I was like, God damn it, Justin and Jeremy.
Who did the sound design for that?
So we hired an external sound company to do the sounds up, but we also have to, internally we also have to sort of put things together and things like that. So it's a combination of both. I would say like that's something that we had to figure out, like how to make a phone game scary, and that was one of the things that we had it in Simulacra 1 actually, but we sort of like tweak it to the experience of Simulacra 3. Yeah. Because I think for horror is like the anticipation, right? If something happens and you think it's gonna happen again, but whether it happens or not, that's peak horror, right? So we want to figure out ways on how to do that. So adding those sounds is like, is that what I hear? Is it gonna happen again? Is it gonna build up? Is it gonna? Yeah. So I think the horror is at its best when the tension is at its highest. Yeah.
Like really built up that suspense because like again like you said like you feel like nothing's gonna happen but you're always on edge because you hear shit. And also another thing, like this game deals with a lot of lore, especially for this monster that's in it.
Yeah.
Lore.
Lore.
Yeah.
Not law, attorney at law.
Yeah.
Lore
Not
as
She-Hulk.
in, like
Lore.
yeah. How much research did you go into this lore? Is this a real lore on this monster or is this completely all fabricated? And if was it inspired by any real life sort of myth?
So okay, so for this story, the lore is completely fabricated, but we have to base it off of our previous game's
Mechanics.
villain. So so in Simulacra, the villain is actually like a supernatural entity, and this entity it's like it's sort of like a doppelganger. It's like a monster that sort of copies people and things like that. So it gets stronger and more powerful the more like the more like information about you it consumes that you put on media, so like social media, like things like that. So the more influence you have, the more presence you have online, the stronger this thing gets. So we want so that's for Simulacra 1 and 2.
That sounds like a commentary on like how everybody lives on social media nowadays.
So, well, I'm just saying, Just saying. So in Simulacra 3, you want to push that up, want to push that up a notch. So it's like
So now the ghost is in the metaverse.
yeah. So we want to treat this
Let's go back to the
idea.
OG Ghosts in the Machine. Sorry, yes.
No worries. So we want to explore the idea of that, but what if this monster doesn't feed on the information of a person, but a legend, like a story, something like
Slenderman.
Slenderman, for example.
Creepypastas.
Yeah, it we want to play with the idea that hey, isn't these monsters that like scarier? The more people talk about it, the more people share the legend, the more it sits on people's mind, the stronger. Freddy Krueger, it gets more powerful and more people dreams about him, things like that. So we want to take that up a notch. So we want to sort of try to explore that kind of monster in this kind of game. So that's all I can say. But the actual lore itself will be explained in the game. But that's the basic premise based on what we have on 1 and 2. 3 is how we're gonna push it up. Yeah.
And of course, another part of that lore, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice Jeremy's shirt. and the Simulacra 3 logo, that plays a very prominent part within the game.
Yeah.
Not going to say what, but it plays a prominent part. How did you come up with that design? 'Cause I feel it's a very... Like, it'll stick with me, that design.
Yeah. So that's the idea, right? Because, like, I think having something that sticks to your brain like a glue, I think that is the most dangerous thing you can for something that perpetuates the more people know about it. So having like an iconography, having like a symbol, having like something that just really sits in your brain unconsciously and things like that. You'll be like, hey, I recognize this, like, yeah. So we want a symbol that is like that represents the evil per se, that kind of thing.
Kind of like the idea of an image of an angel is an angel.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. It's what you wanna make it out to be like. Yeah.
Did your company's involvement with the Doctor Who game influence any of your choices for this game?
Yes, a little bit actually, because in the Doctor Who game, you remember that CCTV sequence? So that was when we did that sequence, I was like, I want to expand this idea, and that's why I called Justin.
Justin to the rescue!
Yes!
You have to make this work.
You would have to make this work.
Just don't shoot it on the phone again. We need high res.
So here's a question for the
Yeah.
kids that are probably thinking about making video games.
Yeah.
You all making good money?
So direct!
Asian father and mother will say okay or not.
In the context of my parents, it's okay.
Okay.
I would say decent above average. We're not like billionaires, living on yachts and things like that. But it's like, for me, I'm really lucky because I get to make video games and, live a decent living. I'm really, I got nothing more to ask for. Yeah.
I mean, you can.
And what kind of degrey you need? Which school you go to? I send my son to the same school.
Yeah. So if you want to follow my path, I did an accounting degree, so you can go.
Start with accounting.
Yeah, you start with accounting.
So hey kids, be
No,
an
that-
accountant.
Yeah, and
Justin,
then,
what did you start with?
yeah,
Advertising it.
There you go.
yeah, and then accounting, you know how to do spreadsheets, right? So that's why the spreadsheets came into play. So it all comes full circle, right?
Yes, thanks, Lucas.
The Excel skills came in handy.
But actually, no, that is a legit question.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
anybody that wants to start, there are schools that...
Yeah. So when I started out, there were, as far as I can tell, when I started out, there were no schools that teach this kind of thing. So I have to learn everything through online and mostly through books. So what I did was I have to read like so sometimes online people, when game designers talk about their game, they write like either a journal or like a thought process kind of thing. So I just consume them like crazy. I bought books to read about game design, but now you can actually go to a course and learn the whole design process itself. You can go learn, game design. You can go learn art. You can go learn programming, things like that. There's all kinds of packages out there. Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
one of the lecturers of game design is a
Yes.
friend of ours,
Yes.
Shen.
Yes.
He was the one who named Simulacra.
Yes. Yeah. He was the one. Yes.
Shen.
He also
Yeah.
provides some support writing
Shen's a
content for the
lecturer
game.
now?
Oh
Yeah, that's why I'm like, that's the name I have not heard in a long time.
I can see Shen being a lecturer. Come on.
He's been a lecturer of like
Yeah.
Always
years.
has been.
Yeah.
Always has been. He seems like
Yeah. So
Where is Shen teaching now?
KDU.
KDU, yeah.
okay.
One of the colleges you can go to learn game development. Yeah.
Okay, like so, which colleges which colleges in Malaysia can you learn game development? I mean,
I KDU is one of the biggest one. As far as I can tell, their curriculum is pretty good. Kind of biased because I have friends there, so I'm gonna put a disclaimer there. But they're pretty good friends. Good. They know their stuff. I think there are other as well. I'm trying to remember. I know Upit has it. I
Upit probably would have
know. I think Sunway might have one. I know
MMU?
one of the local
government
universities
universities.
also have it. But it depends.
MMU?
I can't. I
Cannot-
think
can-
maybe.
cannot be certain.
I don't know.
Cannot be
I don't have a
certain.
list, but they are popping up. Yeah. So yeah, they all offer various versions or extent of the degrees to learn game development. Yeah.
Yeah,
So- What is the story behind Shern naming Simulacra?
So when we tried to come up with a name, I sort of know what I sort of know what the monster's gonna be like, but I just can't figure a name. So I was going through some name, and then I had this idea that this thing is a simulacrum, which is a different way of saying simulacra. So because I was like, yeah, that was the only thing.
Conjugated the Latin verb. Simulacrum.
So when he said that, I was like, oh my god, I'm so dumb. Yeah, then of course that was it. Yeah, so we just went with it. Yeah.
And also it works because the name of your demo was Sim.
Sim.
Sarah
yes.
is missing.
Yes.
Yeah, Sarah's missing, which is tied to having SIM cards in your phone.
Because I brought that question up when we were shooting. I was like, wait, Sarah is missing
Yeah.
Simulacra.
There you go.
There you go.
SIM phones, SIM cards, like yeah. Come a long way.
Now, of course, the question that we have to ask, of course, is there going to be another Simulacra? Or
Abel?
are you working on something completely different?
Okay, so right now we have two very different projects going on. I don't think I can say much. Okay, I think one of them I can say a little bit. One of them is space real time strategy game. Yeah, completely. Do you guys know Homeworld? I don't know if anyone Homeworld.
Oh, how the whole.
Homeworld is a space real time strategy game. So we have that in the works.
Wow.
nice.
So that would be
Because
for-
one of our developers is a huge Homeworld fan, so he wants to. He said, I want to play Homeworld, but there's no new Homeworld. Why not I make my own Homeworld? So
Makes sense, fair enough.
I know how to do it. I will
Yeah,
force
yeah,
everybody else to do it with me.
yeah, we have another one coming up. So we have another project ongoing, still very early development. All I can say right now is alternate fantasy Nusantara. Yeah, fantasy Nusantara. These two words. I'm just gonna say these two words. Yeah.
Okay.
You heard it here
Yeah.
first.
So, will these games be both for phones or PC? Or
PC, yeah.
PC
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Oh,
So this-
you guys are moving.
So this will
to-
step away from the found phone game genre?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
If we
nice.
do
Kinda
found phone
have to,
games
huh?
again, it will be different. It won't be. It might not be called Simulacra. It might be called Simulacra, but we might try different things down the line.
So basically, right now, you're telling us that you're moving away from found phone and trying something different.
we,
for now.
I think
just
yeah. Sorry. I think for us the main thing is that we want to explore. We want to innovate. We want to push, because I think when we first came up with the Simulacra idea, that's what we wanted to do. Right? We wanted to try something different. We wanted to try something off the wall, something never done before. Blah blah blah. Like for this one, we want to do it again because we were like, okay, we've done it for 6 years. I can close my eyes and kind of imagine how a new same structure is going to be like. So we want to surprise ourselves again. We want to surprise our audience again. So we want to just try different things. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
anyone ever expect this game structure, this game mechanic to just like be on fire, like to be so like well received as it is?
Well, honestly, no, because I was like, it was funny because so my business partner Shah, I told him that when we first came up with this concept, I told him, okay, I got this concept here. I don't know how well it's gonna do, but one thing I think it might do is at least win some awards. That was.
And did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you cannot compete with the mainstream, you want to go art house,
And
full
go
art
and
house,
win all the fucking indie awards.
do weird stuff, right? So let's try to do that, and thankfully we got that, but also at the same time we found our niche audience. It's not a huge audience, but it's enough. Again, it's everything is relative, right? We are a small team. We don't really need to sell millions of copies. We have like 30,000, 40,000 copies. So we're very happy. We're like, oh my god, thank God!
Can feed your families.
Can feed your families.
Can feed your families.
Can support
Well.
can support the company for the next year, year or two. That's really good for us already. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that really can't be more thankful than that. Yeah.
So Justin, I'm curious because you haven't answered a question in 40 minutes, and I've been wanting to ask you one for 20 minutes. So
you're shooting these sequences, which are based on a script, which is for the game. And when you guys were shooting here, I saw both of you look at the monitor, and now I'm curious, like, so what is the directing process like? Because like you have requirements that are for the game,
Yes.
right? And you know, like you're directing the look and the performance and all of that, and it's like, so then it's like this weird question of like, okay, so who takes key here? Like, how do these decisions get made for the actual performances and the way the sequences are played out and things like that? Once you get all the technical stuff out of the way.
Yeah, we had to both look at it together because Jeremy is more familiar with not just the game mechanics but also the story, the characters all came from your side as well. So I look at the other parts of it, just how it looks on screen, logistics and all that. So whenever all these shots come up, whether it's Jit, Amanda, or Jeff, we looked at it together. What we had to do was to make sure we know what the context of this shot is for. Okay, this shot. Okay, if it's just like the character walking from here to here. Just hurry and look scared. Yeah.
So remember, your father died. You have this weight on your shoulders.
I can attest to that because there's one sequence where I go down the stairs. Like, okay, you go down the stairs, you reach the end of the hallway, turn, look scared, and go down. I'm like, okay.
And no part of you is like, but what is my motivation?
No, just have a blank face. Just be as blank as possible.
Yeah, pretty much. and it worked. It worked really well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also adding on to that, like, did you guys have any pre-pro meetings before that, discussions or whatnot? Or did
Oh
it-
yes.
Oh, a lot.
Of
Yeah,
course,
a
right.
lot.
Yes,
A lot.
we
Okay.
did.
Yeah, the planning was weeks long, I think.
Okay.
We also had to coordinate with a VFX artist because the VFX artist was a different person, which had to come in after the shots are done, and he's not even on site because he's literally someone like an independent person that's not tied to the production. So I had him meet with Justin. We talked through the shots. He just basically said, as long as you can deliver the shots like this, I can work my magic and yeah.
So there was no point where both of you like, no, she should react like that. No, that's not realistic. She should react like this.
I think I usually leave Justin to most of the directing. I will only come in if in the context of the game it might conflict. Like for example, like in the size of the screen, it looks like this, so maybe she needs to sit a bit closer or further or whatnot. Or I'll consult with him like, hey, how would this look like if we were to put in the game, like the game's gonna look like this, would this be a problem? Yeah, mostly like that. But I think performances, things like that, I leave it mostly to Justin. I only come in if I feel like it might come into conflict with any story elements, lore elements, technical elements, things like that.
Pop-up's gonna appear right on her face.
Yeah. So for the second type of shots is where there's like some serious acting going on, right? So that's where we have to your father just died and do all that stuff. I can handle as much as what I know about the script, but there was a couple of writers who were there as well. All right, if I.
It was me. No, I think okay.
He was a couple of writers.
No,
I was like, wait, what?
No, sorry. Hannah, our production manager was there as well. So
Yeah. So what I was trying to get at is that whatever gaps of knowledge I don't know about the script and the story and the vast context, so someone of Jeremy's side will step in.
But is it, to go from like, let's say directing like narrative, right? And then going to this where it's multiple choice narrative. Does any of that get, get confusing for just trying to like, okay, so now your character's doing this. And then the next take, okay, now the character's doing that. But then earlier your character was, but then, oh, fuck.
So you can imagine from Amanda's perspective during the shoot,
like
right?
from the actor's perspective, every time I saw her come out, she's like, I'm exhausted.
hiring good actors go a long way.
Yes.
Yes. Go a long way. Thank God. Thank God for Amanda. My God, she's great. She's amazing.
Yeah. So So with Amelia's help, we kept track of exactly what shot that we're doing, and
I had access to the flowchart, the Excel sheet, the
Excel
scripts.
so because thank you, by the way, you did a great
So
job.
wait, so is it one of
Yeah.
those where it's like, okay, this ending is based on this reaction from this thing?
Yes, yes,
So that is the emotional flow chart
yes.
for
Okay.
that
Yeah.
bit, and then you have to.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's. Oh my god, that's complicated.
Exactly, we have a lot to try keep track of. So like at any given time, like all right, Amanda, okay, this thing just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go stun, go back.
But didn't that happen yesterday? Yeah.
Now
That was-
this is happening.
Then yeah, we
But didn't that
connect.
happen there?
No, this is
This
different.
is yeah.
Just once you
Yeah.
once Justin says cut, drop, and then start again.
So yeah,
Drop, start again.
out of sequence.
So tiring for her.
Had to.
That poor girl was like so like macam.
Because I don't.
Hats off.
Because I was just in here, so I just see her like when she comes out for a cigarette, like whilst you guys are taking a break, she just looks so tired. I'm like, you're just sitting down in front of a green screen, right? What is it?
Yeah.
Even then, like, did you get confused, especially directing the shots? Like, as you're looking at it, going, "Is this the right one for this shot?" Or like, was there any point you got confused as well?
Thankfully, we had an ID system
Yes.
on the Excel sheet. The Excel sheet.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
So-
so that helped you keep in line.
Yeah. And the way Jeremy named the ID is like, we have the location embedded in the
in
ID
ID.
itself. That
Like-
helps a lot. Like,
And that's
all
why you
the
need a
inf-
degree in accounting.
Because it helps me.
All relevant information was already all in the ID.
The ID has the
Yes.
location,
Yeah.
the to and from, the yeah.
Yeah,
it-
yeah.
Just happened,
If you read
yeah.
the ID, you know what's in that scene
Yes.
already without
Yeah,
without
yeah,
even
yeah,
looking at the shot of the script. So
Yeah.
So because we have hundreds of those, for me, I thought like if I were to work with those shots, I would be like, I need to look at the list and I can tell what shot I'm looking at by
Yes.
just looking at the ID.
Yes, extremely helpful.
So your that board, right? The name, it's like super long.
But it must
Listen
be
up,
done.
kids. Hashtags don't work.
Yeah.
ID your shit properly.
IDs.
That's a very interesting point because I didn't think about that until you brought it up. Like, how is that filming process of going through? Oh shit, this happened at this point. Now you're feeling like this, but then you're going to be different here.
Yeah. So our slate is not like scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. We have an idea of like, kitchen, move from left to right. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this one.
Thank God all acronym lah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like
Yeah.
and then
LVR to KTC.
Living room to kitchen.
Yeah.
Somehow I feel I'll still look at that Excel chart and be like, what the fuck is going on?
yeah, they were yeah. Me and my DP Wing were like Wing was like, I think we need a few more production meetings with them because he was still trying to wrap his head around it. But I think because he's also a gamer, so when he finally got it as well, I think that also helped ease in. Like then all of us were all on the same page about what kind of shots you need.
Yeah.
I think that helped the process as well a lot tremendously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you yourself are a gamer.
I'm a gamer as well,
Yeah,
so that
so-
helped. Yeah, a little bit.
So I just remembered one thing that I wanted to ask as well. I don't know whether you guys did this for Simulacra 1 or 2. I know you didn't do it for the Doctor Who game, but you played a lot with QR codes in this game, I've realized. Was that a very conscious decision to use QR codes to link it to...
Or was this because of a post-pandemic world where you just got used to using QR codes?
Because to me, it also expands on the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Because you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, what is this? And then it links you to a website or whatnot.
Yeah.
Was that intentional or was that just something that, let's just... play with QR
We
codes?
actually had a mechanic in Simulacra 1 where it involves a QR code. So somebody has to go into a building and this building's security is send the QR code to your phone, which is so this guy's trying to break into the owner's phone's house, which you have. So
Phone
when
owner's house.
Yeah, the phone owner's house. Okay. So when the security sends to the owner's phone, you get the QR code. So you have to send this QR code to this person, and this person can use the QR code to go in the house. So we had that mechanic in Simulacra 1.
Okay.
This one we didn't really have a QR code mechanic itself in the game, but we just add in there just like a fun thing, scan. Hey, what's gonna happen? It's gonna point you to the Sim3 website.
Yeah. No, but to me, that thing is, it gives it extra things outside of the game.
Yeah.
Would you consider that in further other projects? Like if you scan a QR code, maybe you've built a whole website dedicated to this one company or whatnot.
We actually
was
we-
gonna say
Opens
that.
up a QR pay for add-ons.
yeah. We actually would love to do something like we actually did something a little bit similar to that in Simulacra 1. There is a secret message that you can decode, and if you dial the number, it leads you down to this rabbit hole of like secret messages and
Yeah,
and
conspiracy
coded, like that kind of thing. We would love to do something like that, but of course, it's a lot of resources. We can't really focus on that too hard. So we just want to make the game. We want to finish it. Maybe down the line, who knows? A patch might come in and something might happen.
Or,
I'm
you
just
know,
saying,
for another game or
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like another like development when you guys have more capital or like
yeah,
people.
because it does add to that. Like it plays very well with that element, the combining real life and things like that.
And hey, you could put a QR code. It's like, oh, this could be Paul's favorite streaming service. Oh, look, it's kinidia.com. Crossover.
Just plugging all day. Huh?
Yeah.
All the plugs.
For those of you who don't know,
Here we go.
I mean,
to be fair, this is
want
something quite big. Like,
but
Yeah.
Justin runs a local streaming service. Can I call it a streaming service? Yeah, it is, right?
Streaming platform, yes.
Streaming
yes.
platform called
he created it
kinidia.com.
during the pandemic
Yeah,
on his own.
For the fuck of it.
Yeah, and it also has Kai's films on it.
Yep.
So if you want to watch all of Kai's films, it's all up on there. But it's a really good website. We've got old Malay films as well, which is incredible. Like the older Malay films. But yeah, check it out, kinidia.com. Give Justin some love.
There you go.
Thanks, Nick.
You're welcome. How
Yeah.
long have you been on for?
An hour.
An hour. Okay, that seems like a good enough time.
Yeah.
So yeah, before we wrap this up, of course, Simulacra 3 is coming out on
October the
25th.
25th. So by the time this comes out, it would already come out. It'll be on the App Store and the iTunes Store.
App Store, Android, Steam, soon to be consoles. If you play on Steam Deck as well.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have if you can get a Steam Deck.
And if you want 25% off, all you have to do is tweet these two and go out on a date with them.
Sure.
Hello.
be,
I don't want to kawin, sial.
Won't-
I don't want to kawin.
the quality may vary.
Ini.
Chinese tea ice at the kopitiam, you know.
Steppings. That's how we roll, man.
And also, if you haven't checked out the first two, or Sarah is missing as well, please go and check that out as well on all. That's really on every single platform by now, right?
Yeah. PS4, Xbox, Switch as well. Yeah. You can
PS5?
do it. Yeah, soon.
Soon.
You're just gonna up-res Justin's video.
Yeah, just upgrade even
Yes.
more, right?
All those fucking phone videos.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like, how
yeah.
do we do this, Justin?
When was that made? It was 2000. 6 years ago.
6 years
now.
ago,
So it was about
more or less, yeah.
2016.
Yes. Yeah. So phones at 2016 upscaled to 4K.
Reshoot lah.
Reshoot.
Yeah, call-
remake is it?
Remake,
Remakes are so hot now, right?
Yeah. Remake, remastered.
Simulacra 1 now with ray tracing.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
In VR.
Yeah.
You know, like
We use real light, okay?
Simulacra 1.
Real life lights.
Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
With new skins.
No, Game of the Year edition.
Game of the Year edition, exactly.
okay.
You have a collector's edition, then you have Game of the Year edition, then you have Platinum edition. So every few years, just come up with a new
Yeah,
edition.
yeah. Sure.
And then a 10th year anniversary edition.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Always keep remastering. Yes, and also don't forget you can check out Justin as well on kinidia.com. Make sure you check that out. And how can they all tell us about Kaigan? How can we find Kaigan?
You can go kaigangames.com, to find out all our details there. The any game info is all there as well.
And Justin, how do we find Kinidia?
Kinidia.com. KINIDIA.com.
And on all social medias as well?
Yes, Kinidia Media, yes.
Okay.
But what about your socials? Like,
My-
how to
my
find
socials,
you?
If you wanna find me on Instagram, don't. There's nothing on it. So yeah, but yeah, I'm Justin the Wong, Justin THE Wong.
Because there ain't no other Wong like Justin.
The Wong.
And Jeremy, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, I guess. Jamui at Jamui. Sometimes I'm there. So
But Kaigan HQ is on Instagram.
Kaigan HQ at Twitter. So at Kaigan HQ.
Yeah, so it's KAIGAN HQ.
Yes.
Yes. Follow them.
So,
Follow them.
yeah,
Yes.
make sure you check all of them out.
Yes.
Thank you so much, you both, for coming on to the
Yes.
show. Again, both of you, second time.
There you go. Yes, never together.
Never
But
together, yes.
Yeah.
Separate. And Justin, this will be your first time in the studio.
First time in studio, yeah. It's
last
good.
time was on the
in the
pandemic that time.
oh yeah.
Yeah. At least Jeremy's got a bit more space this time. He was very cramped up the last time. But yes, thank you so much for coming on board.
Thanks for having
Make
us.
sure
Thanks.
you all check out Simulacra 3 when it comes out. And, tweet them about it, Instagram them about it, say if you love or hate the game. I'm sure they'll appreciate all kinds of comments. So let them know. Would you like to close this out?
Yeah. So this has been another edition of Geeks in Malaysia. I'm Amelia Chen.
I'm Victorian.
I'm Carolyn Baha.
Jeremy, Justin Wong.
Keep geeking out, yo.